when we talk about the province of Nova Scotia in pre-European times, we have to remember that the one primary attractive factor of Mi'kmaq territory is the overlap and availability of resources in this province. By that I mean we have fish coming into our rivers seasonally. They come in the fall, they come in the spring, in the summer, or they're spawning. And there's an availability of resources 12 months of the year, and it's supplemented by land-based animals, caribou, and those kind of things. Of course, berries, and fruits and medicinal plants. So if we look, as an archaeologist, if I look at a garbage dump of Mi'kmaq people from thousands of years old, their diet, you analyze the content of those garbage dumps. They're literally, we call them middens, but they're dumps.
So what would a dump look like?
A dump from pre-contact time would be primarily full of shells, and the benefit of shells is they neutralize the acidic soils here in Nova Scotia. So it preserves a lot of that faunal material, bone material of animals that they were eating. So that allows us to look at diet, and they were hardly starving. And I often tell people that their river system and adjoining lands were like an outdoor superstore or Sobeys. And they're not that primitive. And we look at their technology now, stone axes, arrowheads, etc., stuff like those kind of things, those kind of objects. And I sat with kids one day with a stone axe and a metal axe. They certainly comprehended and understood what a metal axe was. I said, now, what's this? The stone axe. And they didn't know. But we chop wood today with a metal axe. Mi'kmaq did their working with a stone axe. So I often tell students and people that Mi'kmaq people thousands of years ago were technologically advanced then, probably more so than we are today in some sense. And we're sitting in a room now, kind of, this is like a digital classroom. Mi'kmaq classroom was out there in nature. And so they're very dynamic, very interesting cultural group that has persisted despite all the stresses and difficulties that they faced. And it's a resilient culture, and they're still here today. I see, working with Mi'kmaq people today, that the cultural memory is still there. What we have to be careful of is not putting our own perceptions of who Mi'kmaq are and what their culture represents. And we get students in here, university students, and we often advise these students to look at Mi'kmaq language. The language is important because the cultural memory of that group is in that language, and that's no different than any other cultural group in Nova Scotia, be Scots or African Nova Scotians. Language is critical to the survival of culture. So when we're looking at Mi'kmaq people, we can't make up kind of theories about their being 1,000 years ago. There's words in the language. And that leads now to this word. When you come to visit the museum, you see this word, Netukulimk. And what that is, that word itself is kind of a theoretical kind of, it's a Mi'kmaq perspective that governs how Mi'kmaq provide for themselves, how they care for the environment and the resources that are available to them. And that's critical in understanding that. And now when we look at that word and we understand what it means, it's almost, we can say, wow, I love that. We do that even, but we really don't give that much consideration. So that concept of Netukulimk applies to us all. That's the beauty of some of that very meaningful thought, I guess, that's put into some of the Mi'kmaq language, and it's really tied to your being, your existence, your relationship with land, relationship with your kinship family. So there's a lot of beauty in that Mi'kmaq language, a lot of meaning in it.